What's up, guys? This is K-LO, and normally I'm here to give you the lowdown on all things gaming, but welcome back to another episode of Order Up, and who better to join me in today's episode than my sous chef, Aden? Why don't you say what's up?
Hello, how's it going, everybody? We still need chef hats,
We
but oh
do.
well.
We've
We
been
need it.
cooking, no pun intended, here on Order Up. Last episode, I feel we peaked. I feel like that was it for me. I don't know if it can get any better moving forward, honestly.
You made your greatest culinary masterpiece, and now it's just downhill.
No, like honestly, it is. And if you missed it, we made the fruit cake from Breath of the Wild. It was a very good episode. Go check that out. But as for today's little business here, we got the wheel. We're cooking up a new recipe. Now, a lot was added. There's a lot of different things here. It can go off the rails pretty fast. But I do want to acknowledge, if we want to veto a recipe, we all get one apiece. So if I don't like it, I can veto. And if Aiden doesn't like the next one, he could veto. Also, we have drinks on here from various video games as well. If we do land on a drink, we have to make the drink, and we have to do another spin for the entree, because you're not just going to sit here and watch us drink something, because that's not fun. That's not content. But, Aiden, without further ado, you ready for a spin?
Hell yeah, I am. Give me the naan from Monster Hunter Wilds, because I've been enjoying that game. Come on.
I'm in for naan.
Naan.
I would like some naan bread. I've fantasized about that, but I'm not controlling it. My hands are up, by the way.
What is it? Butter buns.
That sounds good. That sounds... Maybe we're in for another little treat right now. I'm going to look up... I guess... Do we look up the official Baldur's Gate thing?
So, here's what butter buns look like. Here, I'll send them to you. Send them to you. Boop, boop, boop. If it wants to let me send it to you. There you go. This is what butter buns look like, apparently.
It looks like
They
a roll.
look really delicious.
Yeah, it looks like a roll.
Looks like a nice side.
Yeah.
That would go really good with maybe a stew or something. That looks great.
You know, I mean, it looks fine. This looks basic. I mean, maybe
Now,
this is where we
there
peak
is no
again.
There is no recipe from the game because Baldur's Gate doesn't actually have like cooking in it, like cooking.
Yeah.
So like you just find food. So really we can just make this however we want. It just says from description, baked up a dozen at a time in warm ovens throughout the Heartlands. So there you go.
I mean, in theory, we all know how this goes. In theory, it's bread.
Yes.
Famous last words. How bad could that possibly be?
It's just rolls.
It's just rolls.
It's just rolls.
It's just rolls. I gotta lock
Like,
in.
think about it as like King's Hawaiian rolls.
Oh, I love me some
You know?
King's Hawaiian
There
rolls.
you go.
Oh.
My only question is, do you want this to be a standalone thing, or do you want a meal to go along with these buttery buns?
Why'd you say it like that? Okay. I feel, I feel as if I get too overzealous, this is where things start to crumble for me. Because, like, I feel like I could do this. I feel like this is easy. This is... Oh, I just jinxed it there. I'm gonna stick with the buns. We're just gonna butter these buns, you know? We're just gonna do
you
it.
You don't want to do a meal with the buns? Maybe a drink with the buns?
I'm a buns kind of guy. I like a nice dinner roll, so...
Like, this isn't me vetoing. This is
No.
saying, let's do another thing with this.
This is me reining us in, because I'm still riding that high from the fruitcake, and I'm like, alright, this is a nice part 2 remastered type deal, where it's like, okay. You know, it's bread. It's bread. That's all it is. That's all we gotta say. That's it.
Well, then there's your answer, folks. Kevin is very obviously scared. He's a scaredy pants.
There ain't no way you're goading me this time. There ain't no way. There's no way. So, I guess without further ado, we're gonna get into some cooking, and we'll check in as we progress.
Let's go. Let's get some buttery buns. Hello. Welcome back to our kitchen for Order Up. My wife says hi from behind the camera. Wavy wave. But today, as you saw in the intro, we're going to be making buttered buns from Baldur's Gate 3. They look delicious. I've had word from Kevin that apparently his turned out heavy. Sneak preview. I don't know what exactly that will entail for mine, but we'll see. because I'm filming mine at a much different date. So let's get started. We need to first have a 1/3 cup of milk, combine it with a 1/4 of a cup of flour, and we gotta put that in the pan that's already on the stove over there. So let's get to work on this. Okay, I got my milk, I got my bread flour, gotta combine it in a pot, need to put it on medium-high heat. It says, so there we go. And then I need to whisk it, it says, for about a minute till it comes together. So, as my wife says, I don't know the purpose of this because I've never seen bread made this way. But then again, I'm not gonna question it because I'm not a good cook. Look at it come together, apparently.
All right, we're back in the kitchen. Today, I'm not actually going to the store because oddly enough, we have everything. We're making the butter bread or butter buns from Baldur's Gate 3. I'm sorry, haven't played that game. I don't know what I'm talking about, but it's bread. How bad could that possibly be? I'm gonna run you guys through all of the ingredients that I have laid out in front of me, this whole process, and we're gonna operate heavy machinery. All right, in this recipe, you're gonna need milk, bread flour. I got the specific kind because I knew that'd be the part where I fail and just kind of don't think about things. We have salt, we have sugar, 2 eggs, and then I have, to kind of make things better, I got honey and butter. We're gonna make some honey butter because I love that stuff. And then we got yeast, which this is it. I hope this is enough. I only got 1 packet. Who knew they made just single packets? But yeah, this is it. This is everything. And then we got the stand mixer here, which hopefully that goes right. All right, so we're getting right into actually doing the bread. I've never seen it done like this before. I'll put the recipe in the video description. But to a small pan, we're gonna have to combine, it says 1/3 cup of milk and 1/4 cup of the bread flour into the small pan, put it on medium-high heat, and then whisk until it comes together. So we're gonna attempt that and see what happens. All right, so just to make sure I'm not going crazy, 1/4 cup of the bread flour. Now, I don't know, because the website isn't really too responsive here. Now, getting back to what I was saying, I don't know if I have to do this while this is hot, or I don't know. It's not gonna make that much of a difference. I'm just gonna do it, honestly. Like, what are they gonna tell me any different? Oh, I forgot the whisk too. I'm gonna get that, but all right. Now we're gonna do the 1/3 cup of milk. It looks as good as you assume. I also hope this is, yeah, it's not expired. I know what I'm doing. All right, I'm also realizing I should have heated up the pan first and then thrown all the stuff in. We make mistakes here. Because right now it's not even incorporated. I mean, it is kind of, but like, this isn't ideal. It doesn't look like the picture, I'll tell you that. I mean, it's coming together now that the pan's hot. Let me scrape. We're supposed to be viewed as chefs on this show, and I could not be bothered to even oil this pan. But, all right, it's combined. It said a minute. It's been a minute. So it says set this aside. Now it's looking like cottage cheese, not gonna lie.
The struggle is real here. It's like all the dough went, hey, we're gonna like just stick into this whisk. So now let's get this out. Come on. I know at least one person will watch this and be like, what the hell's wrong with you? You're a terrible cook. And I'll be like, yep. And that won't be my wife.
Well,
she already knows I'm
To be fair, this is such a weird recipe. I've made bread and buns and cinnamon rolls and like all kinds of different bread recipes, and they've never made you do this. I think this is dumb.
Hey, don't question pixelated provisions.
This is the weirdest bread recipe I've ever seen, and
Okay.
it's dumb.
I think I have at least 90% of this. So I think I can get it out of this pan and do the next step. Which the next step is, let me double check here. It is, okay, I have to set it aside and let it cool down anyway. So it's just gonna cool. Now I need to combine the yeast and the milk. The rest of the yeast, or the yeast and the rest of the milk, and let it rest for 5 minutes so that the yeast can become active.
See, that makes sense. I mean, in other recipes, you do that.
The rest of the milk is a cup of milk, and then 1.5 tablespoons of yeast. You can tell how illiterate I am in a kitchen, so 1.5 tablespoons. Instant yeast, but my wife insists that it's the same. I don't know for sure if it's the same. I said not to film this part in the greatest of detail, and my wife was like, but they need to see you struggle. I blame her for my discomfort. Oh, I spilled it. No. Don't cry over spilled yeast. It's okay. Yeah, that's 1 tablespoon, and then I need a 1/2 tablespoon. I don't know if this is enough to fill it up for the half. Come on. Now I feel like I'm struggling more so than I normally would because you put it in my head like they need to watch me struggle.
No.
There's still a little more in there. That looks kind of close to a 1/2.
Should
Probably
be fine.
not exactly a 1/2, but whatever. So I need to do that and then combine it.
You can put it on the mixer. Or you can use your whisk.
Oh, I don't know. I was just going to use a whisk and whisk it up a little bit. Just because it's not needed to be mixed yet.
All right, we are back on this side of the mountain here, and this is where we start using heavy machinery. Now, it says here, okay, so we need in this bowl, this is the bowl for the stand mixer, we're gonna need yeast, milk, let that rest for 5 minutes, and then allow the yeast to become active, and then we're gonna put bread flour, salt, sugar in all this. So let's do that. So now this is where we incorporate big cups of flour. We're gonna need 3 of these. This is where it goes off the rails, and it's not even my fault. I totally broke my scoop. Well, luckily, I am well prepared. I'm well prepared. I totally snapped this thing. Well, this is going in the garbage. I have another one. It's a metal one. I should have used that one to begin with, but yeah. Now, I don't know yeast too well here. Do you stir it? Do you stir it? I'm gonna Google this. All right, Google says you should let it naturally disperse. So I'm just gonna let it do that. And this is supposed to be bread.
Okay, off camera, while I waited for that, and it's been a little more than 5 minutes because we needed to make smoothies. But I combined the bread flour, the salt, and the sugar in this bowl. So I have that. It is like mixed up a little bit. It is incorporated a little bit. I need to add that. I need to take my little dough ball, which my little dough ball is sticking in here. Okay, come on. Come on, little dough ball. Okay, I need to throw my dough ball in here. So, little dough ball. So I need to add that, and then I also need to add an egg, which I can't add an egg because I'm vegan, so I use just eggs from plants. But so there's a fun thing for you. If you are vegan and you are struggling with eggs or like things for like baking that need to combine, there you go. You can use just egg. It works just as well. I think it said 3 tablespoons is equal to 1 egg. Yes, 3 tablespoons is equal to an egg. So you just need to find a tablespoon right there. So 3 of these is equal to 1 egg. So there we go. That's the same as adding an egg. Now, I need to add this all together. I'm going to go ahead and take this off because that's going to be in the way. Now, let's get all of this into the mixing bowl.
Because you couldn't have just put it all into one bowl. You had to put it in one bowl and then put it into another bowl.
And I'm just saying, my sister's going to look at this and she's going to question everything that I do because she makes bread a lot. I hope you like my bread, sis. I don't know what to put it on. I just wanted to mix.
This was pointless.
What?
Putting it in one bowl just to put it in another bowl.
Well, that's why I said I should just put it in the mixing bowl. I don't know how fast to do this, so... I'm just film it for a mixture.
So now the yeast is done. I'm gonna add this 1 tablespoon of salt, and then I need sugar. So I'm gonna come over here, and we need 2 tablespoons of sugar, which here's 1 and here's 2. Perfect. All right, so it says I have to put this yeast mixture in here. Getting everything out, you know. Gotta get every last bit. And then it says I have to add our lovely goop mixture. It's very, very, very sticky. All right, we're gonna add this to the stand mixer. Oh, we need an egg too. I forgot the egg. All right, I'm gonna let this thing, I gotta lock it first. That's the key. I'm gonna let this thing rip on low. I mean, it's going. So I have to add the butter. So I'm just gonna cut up this whole stick of butter. I'm reading this right. 8 tablespoons of butter, but it's a whole stick, or a half cup, which is 8 tablespoons. So the trick here with this, at least from what they say, is you gotta add this in slowly, like one by one. So I'm just gonna throw that in. Oh, was it supposed to be softened? It was supposed to be softened. We'll be right back. We're gonna soften this a little bit. Hey, you know what? No, we're gonna hope for the best. How bad could this turn out if I don't soften it that much? It's soft. It's on top of the thing. It's on top of the thing. Okay, I fixed it. Also, never do that. Never stick a knife in there. I'm just an absolute fool.
Hi, again. This is combined. I had to add a little bit extra milk because the recipe is not completely clear. But adding a little extra milk helped it. Now it looks better. Now I'm going to add the butter a little bit at a time because it says to add it like by like a tablespoon at a time. So I'm just gonna like cut pieces off and then go like, oop. So we'll see how that goes. I'm afraid of this mixture. It feels like a monster. At one point, it looked like tempeh, if you guys know what tempeh is, combined with Rice Krispie treats. It was terrifying. Again, I feel like anyone who actually does make bread is going to look at this and be like, what the hell is wrong with you?
It's not you, it's the recipe, man.
But I bet you people who actually know how to make bread will
I
look
know
at that
how-
recipe.
I know how to
like,
make bread.
People who make bread a lot
I make bread a decent amount.
will look at that recipe and be like, oh my god, how did you mess that up?
This is a lot of butter.
It is. So you people know, this is a half of a cup of butter. So these are very buttery rolls. They are butter buns. So they are butter buns. But I'm not used to eating this amount of butter on a normal basis. So like, we'll see. We'll see how this turns out.
All right, everything is back to normal. Our dough is pretty well together, if I can somehow. See, my hands are all slimy or buttery. There we go. It looks fine now. It was creeping out of the bowl. I don't know what was happening there. But we have to transfer this to a floured surface. And then we have to oil up a bowl, which I got right here. And we're going to let it rest for an hour. And then we can shape them and pop them in the oven. Now, I'm going to shape this into a rough ball. Look at our boy. Look at our little baby boy. Now, I must admit, their dough looks a lot smoother than mine. But, I mean, it's okay. In the bowl, I hope this doesn't, like, actually explode. That'd be pretty bad. So now we're going to have to cover this for an hour with a rag, and then we'll come back, full hour, let it rest.
I need to lightly flour this surface. I don't know. Is that lightly floured enough?
Maybe a little bit more.
A little bit more? A little bit more? Okay. Okay. I need to lightly flour the surface and I need to knead the dough into a ball. Look at my gorgeous dough. I really feel like I messed this up in a way. Push, fold, turn. Push, fold, turn. Okay. See, I'm trying my best here. And I feel like, just like Kevin, I have messed this up in some horrific way. And the end result is going to be pretty bad. I am not looking forward to this one. I was at first because I was like, ooh, buttered buns, that sounds great. I can bake. I made a cake that was great. I'm back with dough that did not rise. I don't know what I did. I might have added the Like, I might have added things a bit too quickly when it came to the butter and everything, but we'll just have to see. Here's my dough ball. I'm going to rip it apart like it said. And it's not like it rips that easily. I mean, it said if it rips easily, then like it's not good, but it doesn't rip easily. But oh well. But it said to like form it into balls, and then I don't know if I'm supposed to knead the little balls or what, but it says to form them into little balls, and put it in the pan, fill up the pan with them, and then have a second rise. And so we'll see what happens there. It says to make them about like yay big, so that they are a little bit small, like they fit in your palm basically. There we go. That seems pretty good. Seems like about the same size as the other one. Really, really hoping here that the second rise actually does something. Hello and welcome back. I'm making the egg wash. I mixed milk with some of the Just Egg, so that way I can make the egg wash. And I'm going to put it across my buns that did not rise yet again. I swear, Kevin mentioned that his were dense, and I feel like these are gonna be super dense too. And they're gonna be an experience. That's what it's gonna be. But let's go ahead and wash these. Let's do a nice little wash across them. I don't know how to go about doing a wash, so like I'm just like dipping slightly, because I've never done a wash except for with like barbecue.
All right, so it's been an hour completely, and I haven't looked at this for the whole hour. Took me a lot to not just peek and see. I just figured I'd let it kind of do its thing. So, and this is what we're looking like. Oddly enough, not too bad. She's a little dry. I don't know what size we're going for here. I mean, that looks fairly okay. And you know what? I'm gonna add a little bit more. All right, this is the final product. Obviously, we're not that neat in this kitchen, but I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7. The recipe said 8. So if I kind of cut these down a little bit, I would have 8 total. Also, these are probably going to get massive. So we're going to pop this in the oven for about 25 minutes on 350. I've had that preheated, and we'll come back when we're all done. Golden brown, actually. All right, they're done. They look a lot more brown in real life versus not. And they came out to like a perfect size, which is great. I'm going to let them cool off. We'll cut into one and do the review. All right, so we're back after a considerable amount of time. Here are the rolls. They look nice. My only problem with this is they're super heavy. Like, this plate is heavy. Like, this is bad. Now, I'm gonna cut into one of these and see how it baked out. This one looks to be the nicest. Look at the bottom. The bottom's nice. Now, we're going to cut into this, see how it turned out, and then I'm going to try it with the honey butter and all that. One thing to note, it's very flaky, but it baked out. Like, it's very thick. Like thick. It is super thick. Let's get some butter and drizzle some honey and see how this tastes. That's the best part. So, this is the butter and the honey. It tastes okay. It doesn't taste horrible. That's the best part. That's good. That's what we want. But let's bite into this. If you're going to listen to anything I say or do on this thing, these have like the consistency of, like, it's somewhere in between an actual piece of bread and the biscuit you get from KFC. Like, it's right in the middle. It's bready enough, but it's not crumbly like crazy. Now, the honey butter, though, if you haven't tried honey butter, it's just literally you put butter and drizzle some honey. That is iconic. That is the greatest thing. So as a control, I kind of did jelly on this one just to kind of, see if there's anything wrong here. This is the bottom, so let's try it. These are very heavy. This plate is very heavy. Like, actually insane how heavy it is. But the overall product, a digging. So let's go to Aden and get his final thoughts.
Ooh. You know, those don't look bad. They didn't grow. Okay, I've given them a few minutes to cool. Look at this bun. Look at this deliciousness. But I'm gonna try it and hope for the best. A little dense, but other than that, it has a decent flavor. I mean, I guess it's just bread, but you can definitely taste the butter. Half a cup of butter that's in them. You can really taste. But I like it.
Welcome back. We are here to give our final thoughts on the Baldur's Gate 3 butter buns. Now, from what I understand, we both had a time doing this. I remember specifically in my portion of the video, I said, and I quote, "How hard can it be? It's just bread." Famous last words. And
famous last words.
Boy, oh boy, was I wrong. I think we both shared the sentiment that at least my buns, I made 7 of them. They came out very, very heavy. I'm talking at least...
made yours thick boys then. I actually got the 12, thank you. I took the time to section it off to make the 12.
All right, let's dissect that real quick. Because I happened over the weekend, this past weekend, I redid the recipe. And I actually read it. And I actually took the time to mix the yeast in the milk and heat the milk and let it rise and actually section them off into 12 pieces. I didn't do that the first time around. And
did they rise properly after that?
Yes, I was gonna say the second time around, the bread came out actually pretty damn good. Albeit the first time it came out, like I said in the video, it's like a biscuit, but from KFC, but it's bread too at the same time, like a sliced bread. It was really crumbly. I don't know if it came out like that for you.
No, mine wasn't crumbly. Mine was good. Mine was solid. It was just dense. It had a thickness to it, but it was good overall. Added with some marinara sauce, it was delicious.
Ooh, I did honey butter. I drizzled that over, and then as a control for all bread, I kind of get some jelly, kind of tasted like that. Came out good. Both versions were fine. It was just one was significantly heavier than the other, and the other one was kind of done the proper way. Now, did you have, outside of, thickness, was there any other things you kind of ran into along the way?
No, I mean, the only thing that confused me about the whole process was just, I didn't understand the whole heating the milk thing. I just figured, why does it need to heat the milk why do you need to heat the milk if you're just putting it in a pan anyway to heat it up anyway? So I just combined everything in the pan and then did the little dough ball or whatever in the pan. Actually, I used a pot for it because my wife didn't want me to scratch her pan or anything, so I used a pot, but still, I did that. And then I think where my downfall might have been I added the butter too quickly.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was kind of a little impatient where I was okay, wait 10 seconds or 15 seconds, and I went, okay.
Yeah, no, I was the same.
And each time I just waited until I didn't see the butter again, but it wasn't wait 2-3 minutes like the recipe said. I just kept going, okay, wait, I don't see the butter, cool, more.
I just kept throwing it, and then my problem with that part of the recipe, the dough kept coming out of the bowl. It kept creeping out of the thing. I had to jam it down, back. Yeah, I was get back in the thing. And yeah, it was a time. The second time around, it came out good. I want to stress that point when I actually slowed down and wasn't doing the bit for the camera. I was okay, now we're doing something here. So this is a recipe I'm going to keep within my wheelhouse as far as making rolls. I think it's actually pretty damn good. As time goes on, I'll get better. Like you, I
want to tweak it.
You want to tweak it?
I just want to tweak it because it had way too much butter for my liking. Because you use half a thing of butter, half a cup of butter. Yeah. And then you drizzle, you put a nice egg wash over it. That's like, come on. That's
Yeah.
that's a lot of butter and a lot of oil in general. And I try to avoid like eating a lot of oil and a lot of butters. So like it was just too much for me. Like I could handle it, but like my wife who's like sensitive to oil a little bit, she tried one and like she immediately was like, "Nope, I feel this."
Yeah, it's a little too much. I thought it was great. Enjoying it warm, like when it comes out of the oven directly.
Oh yeah.
That's when it was at its peak. After a while, I was like, okay, whatever. But then I had a few over the weekend. And was like, hey, this is pretty damn good. But I always like people my age are like getting into bread baking now, and I'm like, oh, I get it. Like it's therapeutic. Like I feel something whenever I was baking this bread the wrong way, absolutely the wrong way. But if you do want to do this recipe, we have it in the link down below. Let us know how it turns out because
Yeah.
Mine was not good.
You used the same one I did, like the pixelated provisions one.
Yeah. Shout out to them.
Okay. Yeah, shout out to them. It was a good recipe. We're both just bad cooks.
Yeah, it's just the communication. It's just the communication bit to this all. But that about does it here for this episode of Order Up. If you have a recipe from your favorite game, drop it down below. We might try cooking it here on the show. And thank you to all the new subscribers here at Game Sandwich. We appreciate you. And if you're new here, join in on the fun and join our Discord where we're always talking about video games. But as of right now, for this episode of Order Up, I've been K-Lo, joined by Aden, and we'll see you guys next time. If you enjoyed today's video and want more content just like this, consider subscribing to Game Sandwich for all your news, rumors, and reviews. And we'll see you guys next time.